Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm a bit late on my war videos, and as War 12, the final war of the season, is about to begin, this video is gonna show you guys War 10 and 11, and also a boss solo, and some very exciting wars, to be honest, which is a bit of a shame, because obviously had New Nation had a better season up until this point, then this would make things very interesting. As they stand right now, we still... well, we're going to get to it at the end of the video, but we do have some quite cool fights and some dodgy fights, and that is, I bet, what you guys are here for. So for this first war, I am using Diablo, Red Skull, and Magneto. That's right, Diablo is still the absolute GOAT of this Alliance War season with these current tactics, and well, Magneto has a specific job to do as well. So first off, we're boosting up a little bit, well, the best we can really, so the 30% champion boost and small attack and health boosts. And we're also going to be using power stat 1 here just to make sure everything is under control, because I haven't been using much of those at all. I've been running very low, basically consistently empty on invulnerability boosts, but power stat 1 boosts haven't been as big of a deal for most part. However, obviously we need to do our first fight, so it's in section 1. Path 8, and I need to deal with this Gallen. It's not the first time I'm going to do this fight. The main point is to try and make sure that I have Neutralize active as much as possible, and obviously also throw some special attacks to make sure that we keep the planetary mass in control. And other than that, that's pretty much it, because obviously Neutralize deals just fine with the planetary mass here. I cannot nullify, so Fate Seals and special attacks don't matter, so that is why I need some extra help controlling Gallen. Here we can see with the passive poisons doing work, me spamming level 1s at all times basically, and if I am aggressive then Gallen can't really get his buffs from special attacks, and that's it. So very straightforward, quick and easy fight here against Gallen, and this war is against Salty, by the way. Salty is ahead of us, I believe, in the leaderboard as well, so this is important war. They beat us, I think, in the first war of the season. This is the second time we match them. This is the rematch. Now I need to deal with Nova. And this fight is a bit dodgy. There's no other way to put it. But Hazard Chip, Shock, and Bleed, obviously, Magneto is like 80% resistant, I believe, to Shock and Bleed. So you take very little damage. Plus, obviously, opponent's metal. So magnetized opponents, you know, will hardly inflict those debuffs on me. And other than that, I just need to make sure to be careful of the Flourish charges and do try to get rid of them when I can. And at some point, I'm gonna fail to do so because the Nova is not gonna want to play with me at all. Meanwhile, I'm just knocking him down as much as possible whilst building up to my level 3. And I used an Indestructible 3 boost for quite a good reason here, to be honest. And that is obviously because I kind of expect, if the fight goes out of control, that I'll just end up pushing Nova to a level 3. So I do try to hit his block here, but he's like super aggressive, and because of Flourish buffs, he gains power very quickly. And I think at this point I decided, screw it, I'm just gonna go eat that level 3, you know, whilst doubling my prowesses. I still have 2 charges on my Indestructible 3 boost, I believe. And the level 3 in itself will not do anything too much, so I have 1 charge left here. And even though he has 5 Flourish buffs here, I'm going to try and knock him down, double my prowesses again, so I have 37 prowesses. I'm going to throw my level 3, which is actually going to put Noah at another level 3, but I still have 1 charge and my Indestructible 3 boost left. And he would die pretty much immediately from those bleeds, but he does manage to squeeze in that second level 3 that I end up eating. But obviously, as I said, I still have my Indestructible charges. So the annoying thing here obviously was the Flourish buffs, and that they do make the fight much harder to control. But if you just accept some level 3s to the face, then not the worst one. It's a bit dicey. Nova can be annoying, definitely, but, you know, we did just fine for most of it. Now I need to deal with this Mordo, and I'm going to be using Diablo for this fight, because why not? And there's nothing really special about this fight. I am trying to be safe rather than sorry, so I used that Indestructible boost there, and it was kind of a bit of a waste, I suppose, but I wanted Indestructible 3 boost more so for the next fight that I'm going to be doing. And there we go. my passive poisons are here. Neutralize stops his power gain, which was quite sweet. I just want to basically bait out a special attack from him. Ideally, if he doesn't want to throw, it's not the end of the world, but he does. And then I'm just, building up to my level 3 at this point, because why not? I probably didn't have to even go for level 3. But again, there I just ran out of neutralize as he activated his power gain. But it's fine because he's only at 16%. I have Liquid Courage Double Edge active. And this level 3 is going to nuke down that Mordo like nobody's business. Now, this next fight is against Cersei, and I actually really don't like doing this fight. I have done it before, like twice, I believe. Once it went perfectly fine, and once I actually ate several hits, and it did kind of irritate me quite a bit. And yeah, this fight here can be kind of annoying, but the strategy, the plan is still pretty much the same. I do want her actually to get that glancing, because that will give her regen buffs, and those regen buffs will, in fact, help me get to my level 3. At which point I am just going to drop it, and I still have Indestructible 3 boost active, and when you do have Indestructible 3, then you just enjoy life. Now, the problem with letting Cersei throw a special 3 is that she will inflict Incinerate on you, based on the amount of transmutation charges that have expired, basically, or have been nullified. So when she's going to throw her level 3, I'm actually going to be incinerated, but we can see that her health is absolutely disappearing, and there is no way that I'm going to die before she does, especially given the fact that I still have that Indestructible 3 boost. Special 3 will not do any damage by itself. It's just that one Incinerate that's going to get applied, but it's only going to last for like 1 or 2 ticks because she's immediately dead afterwards. So this was the fight where, again, I much prefer just going like I don't care about them getting special 3. And next up, we have the Gore boss. So obviously we boost up here, and this is a Conflictor Combat Deja Vu Prowess, and I have done this fight before, well, quite a few times with Diablo now. And against Gore, the best strategy is very, very simple. Just bait out a heavy attack, he smack down a combo so he gets some regen buffs, ideally. And once that happens, well, unfortunately here I neutralized him before I got the chance, so he didn't get any regen buffs. So I'm kind of just smacking him down to level 1 ideally here, because I do want him to throw that level 1 without neutralize to get a ton of buffs. And now I'm going to throw my level 1. That's going to put me right at 3 bars of power. And if I was really cautious, I would have possibly put him to another bar of power to make sure he has some more buffs for me to nullify later. But I do think that for this, it's not going to be necessary. 15 poisons on Gore, and we should be fine. There's nothing major happening. He does get his regen here now, but again, we throw a special attack, we would have paused the poisons, and Diablo is just so good in this method. There's no other way to say it. Diablo is an absolute animal. And then I actually do have the boss fight here as well. And that's against this little chap over here, Originarcus. Now, I have had one very dicey fight against Originarcus where things basically worked out very poorly for me. I didn't die, but it was a dicey fight. And the reason for that was because Flourish buffs combined with a very, very unlucky timing of him getting that power gain buff in between me applying neutralizes. And that basically gave him a ton of power. But this is a boss fight. It's going to be a bit different. And here the job is fairly straightforward. I want him to get to 1 bar of power. Ideally use that. And then he also gets a couple of buffs. Meanwhile, sweet. And now, again, I'm just building up to my special attack slowly, making sure I don't get armor broken. I could have used his pre-finds that let me regen the energy damage, or that let me become armor break immune. But I figured that, if anything, they would just extend the fight. And at this point, after I have thrown my first level 1, he doesn't have his power gain buff, and it's just a very, very, very basic fight, where after I get to my level 3, life's going to be easy. So I'm going to, again, finish a combo with medium, get another poison there. He's at 66% health. I'm at 100% perfect yellow bar, and now I'm throwing my level 3. That's going to inflict a ton of poisons upon the guy. So his health bar is disappearing very, very quickly. Here, ideally, I get an intercept, but he did not want to work with me, and that kind of annoyed me a little bit, but it's fine. I still managed to get 1 bar of power in time to stop my poisons. 15 poisons are paused, and that is enough to kill that Originarcus. This was such a cool, easy, straightforward boss fight. 50 hits. You can see that poison did vast majority of the damage in this fight, without a doubt. And 1 minute and 20 seconds boss solo, not bad at all. And this war, New Nation actually played almost perfect, pretty much. And we just had one death. I believe the war finished 5-1. This was pretty much the final score. So it wasn't the best war for Salty. And, you know, it happens. It definitely happens. We had like 2 catastrophically bad wars basically before this, where we played poorly. And, you know, it's just one of those times when the shoe is on the other foot. And we had a great war. Salty, not so much. But I believe after this war, even though we beat them, they are still ahead of us in the leaderboard, or at the very least were ahead of us in the leaderboard. And next up, we have a war against TCN. So massive, massive counter alliance, obviously. Last season ended up in Platinum 1, but, you know, realistically, they are very, very tough alliance to beat for one reason or another. When the docks are not happening, they do give a run for their money to the very best alliances in the world. And this was definitely going to be a rough one again, so we're not getting any easy finishes of the season. And this war, I actually do not use Diablo. I end up using Bishop, Nimrod, and Gallen. I will be doing fights with all 3 of those champions. And, well, it's going to be a bit less of a workload for me in this war, to be honest. All of the fights fit in like neatly one big row, because I could do them in basically one sequence. And the first fight is Invisible Woman, and there's nothing too special. It's just combat deja vu, prowess, spiked armor. And I'm just going to use Gallen here, and the reason for that is because he's a tactic attacker. And even though, you know, obviously Gallen, not necessarily the best option against Invisible Woman, but Invisible Woman is a straightforward champion enough. And because Gallen is a tactic attacker, I will have access to neutralizes, I will have access to nullify, so I will be able to get rid of that prowess, I will be able to get rid of that spiked armor. Not that it even is that big of a deal if I can't, it's just, you know, a little bit of damage back, but it's nothing too major. And that prowess, you know, as long as you don't eat a special to the face, also doesn't do too much. And other than that, it's just going to be a very straightforward fight where I build up some planetary mass with a couple of level 1s, and then I'm gonna detonate. Meanwhile, there's some willpower healing that can help me get back any, you know, chip damage, or if I do trigger that spiked armor on and do take some damage back, that's fine. Here I do want her to throw that level 2. She didn't really want to initially. I do trigger my harvest here, and I just go for the kill, and that's it. That was enough. So yeah, fairly easy, straightforward fight. Didn't bring Gallen for this fight specifically, though. It just happened that Gallen was probably the best option here. Next up, we have Domino, and obviously this is why we have Nimrod. And Nimrod against Domino, like virtually all of the... There are like very, very few nodes where Nimrod will not rinse Domino completely and, you know, in seconds. I suppose Polka Dot Power would be one of them, where, you know, you probably don't want to bring in Nimrod. But other than that, we're fine. I was thinking, do I do level 1 and then level 2? And I think I did decide to go for level 1 because I'm not running recall at the moment. Don't think I am. Yeah, I did not have to put recall on for this war because I'm not using Diablo. So I did use my level 1, and part of the reason is obviously because my Nimrod is also C200, and that power gain and that energy vulnerability also lasts very, very long time. Then I got in a nice, you know, set of parries just to make sure I do not enter the Eradicate form. And as soon as I drop the level 2, you know, Nimrod finishes the fight. Not perfect, but, you know, 99% health, and Domino is absolutely dead. Gallen is who I brought for this fight, specifically more so. And we're going to be doing the fight with Power Start 1 boost. And the entire point here is that I just want to spam my special attacks as much as possible to make sure I get rid of all of Gore's buffs. That's like the main thing here. This fight can get out of hand because that Rich Get Richer node obviously will be helping me quite a bit also whenever I'm going to be winning the buff battle. But against Gallen, if he basically activates his level 1, then he's automatically winning the buff battle. Because when he activates his level 1, he gains like 4 buffs immediately. And then I just have to rush to nullify them. And at some point, he will still get to a level 2. So here I just go for a heavy attack of my own. And he's at level 2. So since he didn't have any shadow magic buffs, I decided it was safe. Well, he hardly had any shadow magic buffs, so I decided it was safe enough to block. But then I detonated, and he's still at 11%, and that kind of pissed me off a bit. And here in the end, I didn't even realize what was exactly happening, because I thought I was in Harvest, but never mind. I threw that. I guess I wasn't, but it's fine. It's fine. We still finished that gore. I still didn't really... Well, it was a bit of an odd interaction, that's all. And then I have a mini-boss fight, and this mini-boss fight is actually going to be end up a lot sketchier than it's meant to be. It's Bishop against Kingpin. It's like pretty much a dream matchup, right? However, there is the Hard Knock Life and Brute Force and Limber. The entire plan of this fight is for me to spam level 1s effectively and make sure that Kingpin tries to purify as many incinerates as possible. Keeping in mind that I cannot rely on my parry too much, and he will be benefiting from Limber, so if he doesn't shrug it off immediately, then I do not get the passive stun. The first part of this fight goes just fine. We can see that he took a big lump of damage right there, and obviously I do not want him to get his level 2s, especially with him being in overpower mode. So I'm gonna drop my special one again, just to make sure I refresh that Incinerate Meltdown phase, but keep in mind that phase is shorter if I don't have many or any prowess buffs active. So in order to get the prowess buffs, I need to either block or parry. So that's kind of where the tricky bit is. But so far, the fight has gone pretty much perfect. I'm at 92% health. He's at 20% health. He's getting more debuffs. He's purifying more debuffs. And now he's nearly dead. I'm at 91%. And here I decided that, I want to take a few hits on the block. Why not? And here I forgot about his unblockable, and I just tried to block that special attack, and immediately my health from that one mistake went down from 90% or 80-some% to eat that degen, and my health went down to 29%. I was quite fortunate that the mistake that I made happened late in the fight, so it was quite easy to finish it out, but it definitely could have been a very, very, very costly mistake. Obviously, it's still a good matchup. You just need to be careful and, don't eat a level 1 and get that massive degen on you. But this war was scary close. This war was scary, scary good and close. And we won it. This was 2-1, so they died twice. We died once. They actually beat us on time. But, well, we played... well enough. We didn't die any more than the one death that we had, and we kind of recovered slightly from those 2 straight up losses that we had back to back. But given the fact that that was 3 losses in the season, we are still outside of top 3 with very little chance of making there unless something unexpected happens. And our final war is, let's just say, not going to be easy at all. In fact, it's the toughest matchup that we possibly could have had. It's definitely going to be interesting to see, but it is quite unlikely that New Nation will make it to top 3 this season, which is still unfortunate, because, we'll see. Still haven't given up. We still can just, do our best, see what happens, but this season definitely could have went better. Let me know how about your season going, guys, and overall, it is going to be interesting what new offensive tactics we will have to deal with, because I believe this is the last season with the whole with these whole power gain tactics and neutralizes and fate seals and whatnot. So will be interesting to see what they change into. Either way, if you guys enjoyed the video, if you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the good buttons, and I'm gonna catch you guys later. See ya. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information